welcome to Music Reaction Reviews, where we react to your music and things on the internet. Same day, same shirt, a different video. And today we are reacting to Ren, Money Games Part 3. Loving the visuals. I mean, Ren is the type of person that gives you, again, you something to watch, something you to look at, something you to sink your teeth in, but not too many distractions necessarily. Like Hi Ren, he was literally just sitting there in the wheelchair, but that was still interesting to look at, especially when he did his sort of camera moves and his editing and his cinematography and all those things. I'm loving that there's artists coming out here actually truly being artists and not just sort of, you know, factory made sort of pop stars. Loving the pearly keys, the piano sound. I love it. It's very like bluesy. His voice is really good. He has really good voice control. That one part when he was like, ooh. Anyway, let's get back into it.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can.
Alright, so he's telling us a story. I don't know if this is supposed to mimic someone's particular life or the sort of stereotype of the idea what we think some of these rich men are made of, or how they're made, and the lives of them. So he sounded like he was telling the life of a child prodigy or a genius or someone who was very ambitious, very smart, very driven, and he was sort of given that flame under his ass sort of by his dad. And in the beginning, there's nothing wrong with what his dad said, like, hey, you are a man, you have to work for what you want. I think that's great advice, you know, seeing that your child has a gift and you want to sort of nurture that gift, so put him in a private school to nurture his talents, right? Then the whole money is the means to all ends. Unfortunately, in a lot of ways, that's true. We live in a capitalistic society, not against capitalism, but crony capitalism. But telling a child that, in a way, it kind of sounds like money should be always the prize. Like, you should care about nothing but making more money, and money is going to fulfill you and make you happy and give you all the things you want in life. I think that is a bad message to give to a child, but most of the times the parents are just trying to do the best they can with the knowledge that they have. But yeah, it seems like his father is sort of driving a lot of his decisions, and a lot of guys want to make their fathers proud, girls too, but fathers and sons have a different type of relationship. And so like even a lot of times the fathers aren't even like around, the guys, men still have that sort of innate need to want to become something that their father would be proud of, or better than their fathers. Anyway, let's continue.
19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
Stopping it there. Okay, now it sounds like he just can't do anything right. Like his father is never saying, "That a go, boy, I'm proud of you." He's never giving that to what most young men are trying to get from their dads. He just sort of, it almost feels like he's like never satisfied with the success of his son, but I guess that dissatisfaction is what keeps pushing his son forward. At the beginning of his career, it sounded like he was, he was climbing the ladder, but mostly in a right way. I do like that one line: if you just manipulate the data or algorithms, you the lie just sells itself. We live in that society. That cannot be more true than today. But then it kind of feels like he became more and more corrupt after that, which, a lot of rich successful people do. I do think power is inherently corruptible. He started dealing in arms because we all know the weapons industry is what makes the most money. And if you do not know, a lot of Congress and Senate have a lot of investments and manufacturing companies that's invested in war weapons industry. So if you keep wondering why our government keeps pushing for more war, because it makes them richer. Duh. Anyway, it's like a musical. Like you don't even want to bob your head necessarily and just listen to the tunes because you want to follow the story, because that is what he's giving us, a story. But anyway, let's continue.
35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Stopping it there. So his father dies. His father dies without ever giving him that attaboy. I'm proud of you. You've done enough. Daddy loves you. Like, without giving him this thing that he's been chasing for his whole entire life. And his life is just going more and more downhill because money does not make you happy, unfortunately, for a lot of people who find that out much, much later in life. The cinematography, again, amazing. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but this was in one take, supposedly. This was done in one take. I'm sure they've done tons of rehearsal before it, but filming and what we see today is done in one take. Impressive. Let's continue.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble and perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him. And it's a version of she. And it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music.
Stopping it there. Okay, I just have to mention the line where he says, like, riches turn to rubble when perspectives change. Again, a lot of people figure this out, that happiness and peace and contentment, or just joy, is not defined equally across the board. Not everybody gets fulfillment out of being successful as a CEO or a business owner, having lots of money. People get it out of community, out of family, out of service, out of self-love, out of life experiences, enriched life experiences. And again, unfortunately, a lot of people are pushed by their parents or by not wanting to be poor anymore, by their past circumstances, to gain as much money as they can, and they get it and they still feel really fucking sad. That's why a lot of celebrities still off themselves, even though they have all the rich and fame that a lot of people, every TikToker on the planet is chasing after right now.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.